Hey, science enthusiasts, welcome back to our channel. Today we've got a lineup of mind-blowing science facts that will leave you amazed and maybe even questioning reality. From the eternal shelf life of honey to the astounding weight of a neutron star, we're about to embark on a thrilling journey into the depths of the scientific world. So grab your thinking caps because we're diving deep into the fascinating world of science. Did you know that honey never spoils? It's a fact that might sound too sweet to be true, but it is. You see, honey is a bit of a science marvel with properties that give it an almost eternal shelf life. Let's take a trip back in time, over 3,000 years ago to ancient Egypt. Here, archaeologists have discovered pots of honey in tombs that are still perfectly good to eat. Imagine that, a food product that has outlived empires and civilizations. But what gives honey this remarkable longevity? Two things mainly. Its low water content and acidic pH. Honey is a sugar-rich substance, and bacteria and microorganisms, which are the usual culprits behind food spoilage, can't survive in such an environment. The low water content makes it hard for microbes to thrive, while the acidic pH further creates an inhospitable environment for bacteria. Honey also has a natural antibiotic, an enzyme that bees add to it. When honey comes into contact with moisture, this enzyme can produce hydrogen peroxide, a known antiseptic. So the next time you drizzle some honey onto your toast or stir it into your tea, take a moment to appreciate it. You're not just enjoying a sweet treat, you're indulging in a taste of ancient history, a food that has stood the test of time thanks to the wonders of science. Isn't that just a delicious thought? Ever wondered why the sky is blue? This isn't just a result of some random color palette Mother Nature decided to throw up there. Oh no, there's a lot more science involved in this beautiful phenomenon, and one of the key players in this natural spectacle is something called Rayleigh scattering. Now, imagine sunlight as a mixed bag of different colors, each with their unique wavelengths. When this sunlight reaches our Earth's atmosphere, it encounters a myriad of tiny molecules and particles. The shorter wavelengths, particularly the blue and violet light, are scattered in various directions due to these interactions. This scattering is more intense for these shorter wavelengths, thanks to the physics of Rayleigh scattering, named after the 19th century British scientist Lord Rayleigh. But here's a twist. If blue and violet light are scattered the most, shouldn't our sky look violet instead of blue? Well, yes, technically. But our eyes are more sensitive to blue light and less sensitive to violet light. Plus, sunlight reaching us has less violet to begin with. Combine these factors, and we get a blue sky dominating our daytime views. And there's more. The color of the sky can vary depending on the time of day. Ever noticed how the sky turns from blue to a warm orange or red during sunset or sunrise? This is because as the sun sets or rises, its light has to pass through more of our atmosphere. This longer pathway results in even more scattering of short wavelength light, such as blue and violet light, out of our line of sight. Instead, the longer wavelength red and orange light gets through, giving the sky its stunning sunrise or sunset hues. So there you have it. The blue sky you see is essentially a grand light show, a result of sunlight's interaction with our atmosphere. It's like a natural light show happening right above our heads. Prepare to have your mind boggled. A teaspoon of a neutron star would weigh about 6 billion tons on Earth. Now let's unpack this astounding fact. Neutron stars are the ultra-dense remnants of massive stars that have exploded in spectacular supernovas. They're called neutron stars because they're composed mostly of neutrons, subatomic particles with no charge. A neutron star is so dense that a sugar cube-sized amount of its matter would weigh as much as a mountain. That's because the gravitational force within the star is so powerful that it crushes atoms together, stripping away their electrons and leaving behind a tightly packed mass of neutrons. Still having trouble wrapping your head around this? Think about it this way. It's as if you squeezed the mass of 1.5 times our sun, a monstrous sphere over 800,000 miles in diameter, into a city-sized object just about 12 miles across. Now imagine scooping up just a teaspoon of this ultra-dense matter. On Earth, thanks to our planet's gravitational pull, that teaspoon would weigh a staggering 6 billion tons. To put that in perspective, that's about the same weight as 1 million Great Pyramids of Giza. This extreme density and weight make neutron stars one of the most fascinating objects in the universe. They're a testament to the immense forces and incredible phenomena that exist out in the cosmos. beyond our everyday experience and comprehension. So the next time you're casually stirring your coffee with a teaspoon, remember, if that spoonful were neutron star matter, it would weigh as much as a mountain. It's like having a mountain-sized object in a teaspoon. Here's a fun fact about your DNA. If you were to uncoil and stretch out all the DNA in your body, it would reach the moon and back over 6,000 times. Mind-boggling, isn't it? But how does this happen, you might wonder? Well, DNA, or deoxyribonucleic acid, is a molecule that carries most of the genetic instructions used in the development, functioning, and reproduction of all known living organisms and many viruses. It's like the blueprint of life, holding the information that makes you uniquely you. Now, each cell in your body contains about 2 meters of DNA. Think about that for a moment. 2 meters of DNA in each cell, and we have trillions of cells in our body. That's an enormous amount of DNA packed into a microscopic space. It's like folding a piece of string over and over until it fits inside a tiny box. The way DNA fits into our cells is by coiling tightly into structures we call chromosomes. This coiling is incredibly efficient. It's akin to the way you might wind a nearly invisible thread around a spool, over and over again until you've packed a tremendous length into a tiny space. But imagine if you were to unwind that thread, to uncoil all that DNA. The resulting length is so vast it's hard to comprehend. The DNA from just one person would be enough to stretch from the Earth to the moon and back, not once, not twice, but over 6,000 times. That's the equivalent of a round trip to the moon every day for more than 16 years. It's a distance that far outstrips the circumference of the Earth, which is a mere 40,000 kilometers. It's like having a molecular highway to the moon right inside you. Get ready for a taste of the bizarre bananas of berries, but strawberries aren't. Now that might seem strange, given that we usually think of berries as small, juicy fruits like blueberries or raspberries. But in the botanical world, the definition of a berry is a bit different. A berry, in botanical terms, is a fruit that comes from a single ovary of an individual flower and typically has seeds embedded within the flesh. This might not fit our usual image of a banana, but when you look at a banana plant, each banana is actually the result of a single flower with a single ovary. That's why bananas are technically considered berries. Meanwhile, strawberries don't meet this botanical definition. That's because a strawberry comes from a flower with more than one ovary, making it an aggregate fruit. The small seeds you see on the outside of a strawberry aren't actually seeds at all, but are tiny individual fruits of their own. So, while it might sound strange, when you're enjoying a banana, you're actually indulging in a big yellow berry. And when you're eating a strawberry, you're not eating a berry at all. It's just one of the many ways that science and nature can surprise us. Nature has a way of keeping us on our toes. And there you have it, folks. A whirlwind tour of some truly mind-blowing science facts. From the eternal shelf life of honey, the sky's enchanting blue hue, the unbelievable weight of a neutron star, to the surprising classification of bananas and strawberries, and the mind-boggling length of our DNA. If this piqued your curiosity, show some love by hitting like, subscribing, and sharing your favorite fact in the comments. Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring the amazing world of science.